Think back to the last 6 months. Did you learn some new things over this time frame? What have you learned? Did you start something new at that point back in June that is now ending or completing? Did it turn out as you'd hoped? And if not, did you learn something from that? Maybe you got some more knowledge, more insight. Maybe you got the bigger picture on something. And I say that because this full moon in Gemini is bringing us more insight and intuition regarding ourselves, our relationships, our resources. Let's talk about it. By now, you should have gotten some new information over the last 6 months that is pushing you to now ask yourself, what should I be giving my attention to in light of this new information that's informing me on what's going to advance me and what's not? And, where or how should I best direct my mental energy from now on? Trouble is, we're in the midst of so much retrograde energy right now, particularly Mercury retrograde, that the answers are still likely a miss, and you are probably second guessing yourself. You could be uncertain about your best options, and that's okay. I mean, we are collectively in a bit of a back to the drawing boards kind of energy. We don't have to figure it all out right now. Now is a good time for us to reflect on the lessons that we've learned over the last year, particularly with this energy, the last 6 months, about what's worked, what hasn't, and why. So think, how can I level up? Use your intuition. It's going to be heightened with this full moon in Gemini. And think, what can I logically put my faith in now based on the facts? This is a logical energy as well as intuitive. When it comes to relationships, if there have been some misunderstandings, this could be a good time to talk some things out. But a word of caution here. Conversations could have a shifty, discordant feel to them, kind of an ADHD vibe, like you're dealing with people that have the attention span of a squirrel. Hell, I've caught myself doing that as well, and I don't have ADHD. But it's like talking and thinking about 5 different things at one time. And so a bit of advice, take in this fast-paced communication and soundbite style information, but give it some time to completely process and flesh out a full, complete understanding. And that might take multiple conversations. It might take multiple chat sessions. But on the positive, if you take a flexible approach, try to see both or all sides of an issue and have more of a lighthearted, teachable spirit, that is going to help with this. This energy requires a bit of mental agility. And then if you use that, you're probably going to thrive at it. On the not so positive, we do have some people, obviously, who don't do well with that. And they're going to have a bit of agitation with this full moon because they're not able to integrate all the new information that's coming at them. And so, we're talking about some cognitive dissonance type of stuff going on where people have maybe fragmented, disassociative thinking, double-mindedness. Those people could be challenged. Realize that what we have learned over the last 6 months with all the new information that's come out is confronting people's beliefs and their perspectives on the world and their standing in it. And some are really having a harder time processing and integrating this, especially if those beliefs were just patently false, yet they base their sense of identity, their sense of security on those false beliefs, in which case, people's insecurities are really getting triggered. And unfortunately, this energy is not going away anytime soon. It's going to get harder. I've been talking to y'all about this in other videos. It's just going to get harder, especially in the year ahead, because false optimism right now is in the spotlight, along with, the consequences of having a lack of moral compass. Very spiritual energy that we're dealing with. And those who, lack moral compass, which is basically the inability to discern what is for the highest good of all, and act upon it, those individuals who have a deficit of this type of discernment in their lives are going to be confronted with some very heavy karma later on. And are probably in the midst of it right now. So denial, naivete is becoming less of an option as time goes on, and that is making it harder on people who are not wanting to adjust and adapt. The last 6 months should have imparted to you critical knowledge about what is affecting your abundance. So now is the time that you can actually toy around with some ideas and strategies on how to improve it. For example, it would be a great time to edit projects or documents or maybe even do a bit of brainstorming and writing down your ideas. It could also be a good time to review and revise last year's goals and plans. Like, think to yourself, what didn't you achieve and why? Maybe it actually wasn't that important to you, or maybe there's something that you are still having to address that is maybe a little bit more involved than what you previously thought. And now you got to come up with a new strategy to get around that. It's also a good time to reconsider your sources of information. Who was giving you advice last year? Did they lead you wrong? Who's influencing you? Who's inspiring you? Are they really leading you in the right direction? Because there's been a lot of things coming out showing people that maybe the people they've trusted as a trusted source of information should not be. And based on that information, who will you be listening to next year and who won't you be? This is also a good time to reflect on learning new skills to leverage more opportunities and resources, especially if you are in a financial rut, as a lot of people are because of the economy. But, you could brainstorm with AI. I absolutely been doing that, like on Grok, GPT. I mean, I've been getting some great breakthroughs. I've really been nerding out on that. But you could learn about crypto. I think that's going to become more of a hot topic next year. And you could also explore new ways to add streams of income, particularly locally. But here's the catch. The time to actually set intentions for any new starts regarding stability and security will be more toward the end of this month of December, when we have a new moon in Capricorn. So just use this time right now wisely to reflect and recalibrate. If you want to hear more about that energy, then make sure you are following me for more astrological insights. In the meantime, I want to hear from you. How are you feeling with this Gemini full moon? Are you letting go of ideas you had earlier this year? Drop me a comment. Let me know. Share your thoughts and ideas. And let's support each other in manifesting a more inspiring new year.